What do you think? We saw the news last week, speaking of big banks, and one that we don't talk about a whole heck of a lot, but I think, some news that was at least noteworthy here. Morgan Stanley acquiring Eaton Vance. And we talk a lot about consolidation in the space. I mean, this is certainly an effort from Morgan Stanley to boost that investment wing of the business. I mean, Eaton Vance holds somewhere in the neighborhood of $500 billion in assets under management. I mean, this is from the perspective of Morgan Stanley, not the biggest deal in the world. I mean, Morgan Stanley is a considerably larger business, but it's not just some little bolt-on acquisition either. Any thoughts there?
Well, I not to brag or anything, but a couple weeks ago when you said what trend are you watching in the rest of 2020 in banking, I said consolidation in the brokerage space.
Well, then brag a little bit by all means, Matt. That's one of the reasons why we're here, right? Talk your own book.
I didn't mention Eaton Vance. I mean, that was one I really didn't think was going to get bought out. I thought someone would acquire like a Robinhood or something like that to get more techie, I guess you'd say, and appeal to the millennial crowd. But remember, Morgan Stanley just acquired E-Trade.
Yep.
Like that just happened. So they're really making a big push to scale up their business. And from that perspective, when you combine their existing clientele, which off the top of my head, I don't know how much assets Morgan Stanley already had, but I have to say it's over $1 trillion.
Yeah.
And then combine that with all the E-Trade retail brokerage assets and the $500 billion of Eaton Vance wealth management assets, all of a sudden you have a much more scaled and potentially profitable business. So I said that a couple episodes ago, like I mentioned, that consolidation was something to watch. And the reason is because, fees are coming down. The way you're going to make your money is through scale and efficiency. Among other, brokers have other ways they make money, but even though TD Ameritrade's commissions went to zero, that didn't mean they were going broke. But this is going to be a long-tailed trend, I think, in the space. I still think somebody's going to step in and acquire Robinhood.
I think I think I would probably put money on that as well. At some point, there were a couple of things. To your point there, this acquisition, Morgan Stanley is going to oversee close to $4.5 trillion of client assets across all of its wealth management divisions, which is that's obviously an astounding number. I think it's interesting too. This will give them a bit more of a presence in the ESG space, right? That's obviously a direction where a lot of these firms are headed. A bigger focus on ESG investing, and rightly so. I think that is going to be something that just becomes more important as time goes on for investors. But then there was a telling quote from Morgan Stanley CEO James Corman. He said in an interview, I quote, "It was sort of obvious if we didn't do this, someone else would have." And that really, I think, says it all right there. They've been thinking about this for a while and really kind of came to the conclusion that this deal had to happen.
Yeah, it was kind of the same, in my mind, the same reason Schwab acquired Ameritrade. Mm-hmm. Just because, like you said, if they didn't do it, someone else would have. It's a powerful franchise. They were one of the, in according to many lists, the top-rated broker in terms of functionality and stuff like that. So it's just, when commissions went to zero, it's just a matter of time before there's this kind of like land grab for all the smaller firms.
Yeah.
Including the ones that were already doing zero commission, like Robinhood. I could see a company like Square buying them out. But
and we talked about that before for sure.
Or even PayPal. Maybe they do brokerage in their Venmo app.
Yeah, that would be an interesting idea there, because that certainly would pivot away from what PayPal has been so focused on, wouldn't it?